Rent got too expensive, had to leave LA. So I got into my car and I went away to the big estate. Playing poker every day. Going all in with these fish like I'm at an all-you-can-eat buffet. We had our biggest win in the last video. What could be better? Oh, I don't know, maybe finally hitting 30,000 subscribers. I'm pumped. We make the 1-hour drive east from Mississippi into Alabama. It's Veterans Day and Mobile is home to the USS Alabama. What better way to pay our respects? Check it out. On our way back, we're tempted to get some daiquiris to go, but think better of it. We're back at the Beau Rivage, our new favorite casino. Our name gets called for the 1-3, it's uncapped, so we're in for $1,500. The last video, I crushed it and made $3,100, and without spoiling too much, let's just say that this video is pretty similar to the last. First hand of the night, I look down at Ace-5 of hearts from the big blind. Under the gun raises it up to $12, and the action folds around to me. I end up putting in the call, so going off to the flop heads up, which gives us a flush draw. Comes 10-8-4 with 2 hearts. I check and the opponent bets out for $6. Pretty strange bet, it looks pretty weak. I have a pretty strong draw, but still just ace high at the end of the day. So I go for the check raise here to $25. If he folds, that's great, we're taking it down with ace high. If he calls, we still have a lot of opportunities to win it on the turn or the river. He ends up putting in the call and we're off to the turn. Turn's a card that improves our hand in terms of the amount of outs we have, but we're still just left with ace high. It comes a deuce of clubs. Now any 3 will give us a wheel. When I check raise the flop and we don't really improve on the turn, I need to fire again here. I still just have ace high, so I bet out $65 into the $81 pot. The opponent shows us 9-7 offsuit for the open-ended straight draw. We actually had the best hand. He folds, and we're going to take down the first pot of the night. We're off to the second. What do we look down at? No, we didn't keep our cards. We still have ace-5 of hearts. I raise it up to $15 under the gun and get 4 callers, so we're going 5 ways to the flop. Flop isn't too great for us. It comes queen 5-4 with 2 diamonds. We do have middle pair, but that's just about it. So I decide to check, and the action checks around. That brings in the ace of spades on the turn, giving us 2 pair. This is a great card for us. Besides another 5, the ace is the best card for us. Additionally, there's no diamond on the turn, so I lead out for $50 for value now. The big blind puts in the call, so going heads up to the river, which comes the ace of clubs. Bang, we river the boat. Big blind checks it over to me, and there's $175 out there. I'm obviously going to be going for a bet, never checking this behind. Do you guys bet big or small here on the river? When the flush draw misses and the board pairs, it's a pretty scary board for any pair of queens, but if the opponent has an ace, he's probably going to pay us off for a pretty large bet. Any flush draw isn't going to pay us off for anything. If I bet like $75, they're still going to fold. So for that reason, I decided to size up here. I cut out some green chips. The bet is $200. It's an overbet. Looking for any ace-jack, ace-10, ace-9 type hands to pay us off for one last large bet. Unfortunately though, he finds a fold. We're up $100 and we're on to the third hand of the night. We look down at pocket kings, and obviously my card protector Mudkip is pretty excited. He's either doing a handstand or a wall twerk, not really too sure what he's up to. The button raises it up to $16. I'm in the small blind and I'm going to go for the 3-bet. I pop it up to 40. In hindsight, it probably could go a little bit larger here. Somewhere in the neighborhood of $55 would probably be best. But the action folds back around to the initial raiser on the button, who goes all in for around $50 more, a total of $80. Obviously, I snap call. He turns over a 3 and I show the king of hearts. He ends up showing the other 3, so I turn over my other card as well. Even though I'm pretty superstitious about showing my cards pre-flop, we're off to a run out. Flop comes queen 7-5, pretty safe for us. The turn is a jack and the river is an inconsequential 5 of clubs. $160 coming our way. Our kings hold up there, which is nice. Let's go. We look down at ace 10 of diamonds. That's pretty good. Let's play it. We're in the cutoff. Ryan raises it up to $15. He's a vlog watcher. Shout out to you if you're watching this, which I'm sure you are. Under the gun puts in the call. Ace 10 of diamonds. I'm going to be popping it up here. I make it 55 to go. Ryan and the under the gun both put in the call, so going 3 ways to the flop. $165 out there. The flop's pretty good. It comes queen, deuce, 5 with 2 diamonds. When both opponents check it over to me in flow, I decide to go for a $60 bet here. Why? Because I have ace high, there's 2 other opponents. We have a pretty strong front door diamond draw. We also have the back door wheel draw, and I want to thin the field. If anyone has a pocket pair underneath the queen, we can start putting pressure on them now. If they do unfortunately have a queen in their hand, they're obviously going to call us here, but we can improve on the turn and the river. So when I bet out for $60, Ryan puts in the call. Under the gun gets out of the way, so we're heads up against a subscriber, and the turn gives us the nuts. It comes a 4 of diamonds. Bang! We turn the flush. Ryan checks it over to me, and when he calls me on the flop, I'm putting him on a pretty strong hand. Could have some sets. He could have a king queen, ace queen type of hand. So for that reason, I bet out for $190 into the $285 pot. Ryan must be watching a lot of my videos. When I bet big, I usually have the goods. He finds a fold, and we're up $475 early on the session.
We do have a little gaze, so you got that one. That's out of my kitchen window. You can see my windowsill.
It's crazy.
If you zoom in, we have a little duck house back there.
Do they snack on the ducks?
Yeah, we set it all up. Ecosystem in the backyard.
Claiborne invites us to come over to his house next time I'm out in Biloxi. I'm probably going to take him up on it. I hope he doesn't feed me to the gators. Nevertheless, I look down at pocket 10s from the big blind. Under the gun raises it up to $10, and there's 3 calls over to me. Pocket 10s is pretty vulnerable. I want to play a large pot if we hit our hand, so I raise it up to $50, and we get still 3 callers, so going 4 ways to the flop. Flop's a good one. It comes 9, deuce, deuce. We have an overpair, but opponent has a 9. He's probably going to feel pretty good about his hand. Any other hands like king, queen, ace, queen, those type of hands, we need to charge them if they want to continue, so I bet out for $65. The under the gun folds, and the middle position calls for less. He only has $29 left in his stack. He shows pocket 7s. I turn over my 10s. The turn and river are inconsequential, and we're going to hold against my favorite hand. $268 coming my way, almost up $700 on the session. It's turning into a mini meetup here. We run into Jeremy, who spots us from a couple tables over. He didn't know I was in the area, and he comes over to say hi and take a picture. Shout out to you, Jeremy, if you're watching this video. The 2 other vlog watchers at our table, Claiborne and Ryan, get into a large pot here, set over set, queens versus 9s. Pretty disgusting that the queen comes on the river. $2,200 now in our stack. We look down at ace 8 of clubs. $6 straddles on the small blind and big blind, both put in the call. I call as well, and that brings in 3 other players. We're off to a flop which comes 8-5-5 with 2 spades. We have top pair, but there's a lot of opponents out there, and one of them could have a 5. Still, top pair is pretty good, so I bet out for $25. The hijack puts in the call, and the turn comes a 6 of hearts, connecting the board just a little bit more. But when it's not a spade, I feel pretty good about my hand, so I bet out for $45, looking to get value from any other straight draws and maybe some flush draws. When the hijack shoves all in, he's pretty much saying he has a 5 in his hand, but it's only around another $65 to me. So I'm not going anywhere here. I stick in the call, knowing I'm probably behind. The river comes at 8 of diamonds. Bang, we river a boat. If we were behind a 5 on the turn, we're behind no more. Sure enough, he turns over ace 5, so a super cooler coming here. I'm going to take down that $312 pot. I guess you could call me Wolfgang the River Rat. Going pretty swimmingly so far in the session. We're up to $2,400 in our stack. I look down at pocket 3s. I'm in the cutoff. There's a few limps to me, and I raise it up to $15. Getting 4 callers is just what the doctor ordered. We're going 5 ways to the flop. And you know what else the doctor ordered? A set on the flop, 10-7-3. Bang, we flop a set of 3s. The action checks to Claiborne in the hijack. He leads out into me for $25. Claiborne, what are you doing, man? Just check it over to me. There's some straight and flush draws out there, and I want to play a large pot with a subscriber here, so I pop him up to $75. Claiborne's a non-believer. He puts in the call, and the turn comes the 5 of spades. Really shouldn't change too much. I don't expect him to have 4-6, so I'm thinking I have the best hand. Claiborne checks it over to me now. What a smart man. I'm going to go for value here against all those draws. Maybe a pair of 10s will call me for one more bet. I bet out for $165. Mudkip's pretty stoked about it too. He's doing a handstand again, and Claiborne likes his hand enough to put in $165 more, so we're off off to the river, which isn't the best card. It comes a 9 of diamonds. 6-8 and 8-jack now make a straight, but when he checks it over to me for a second time here, I think it would be a mistake to go for a check behind. If he raises us on the river, I can pretty confidently fold my hand, but that's not what it comes down to. He mucks his cards. We're up $1,200 when 555 more chips get assimilated into my chip stack. This next hand, we look down at 6-7 offsuit from the big blind. We pick up the action late here, so we're going to freeze frame it while I go through the action. Few limps to me, I decide to check behind in the big blind, and the flop comes 4-5 jack. We have an open-ended straight draw. Checks to under the gun, who bets out for $10. The hijack and the small blind both put in the call. Open-ended straight draw here is good enough for $10. I put in the call as well. And we see the gin card on the turn. Bang! We turn the straight. I lead out for $40 now, looking to get some value and hoping it doesn't check behind. Under the gun just rips it all in for $120. I don't know what he's doing, but we have the nuts on this board, so I snap him off. He turns over his cards 4-5. I'm superstitious. I can't turn him over until we see a clean river card. The river is just that. It comes the ace of diamonds, so his two pair go down in flames. Our straight is going to take down that nearly $300 pot, and we celebrate with some shots.
True pleasure, boys. Hell yeah.
Why are we here?
Let's keep this train moving. We look down at king queen offsuit from the small blind. There's a few limps to me, so I pop it up to $16. Big blind and Tim in the low jack find a call here, so going 3 ways to the flop. Flop is pretty favorable for us. It comes queen 6-4 with 2 diamonds. I'm out of position to them. I need to bet here and get value from any flush draws or worse queens. I lead out for $16. Side note, I think a $25 to $30 bet here would probably be best. We're out of position. We need to charge those draws and worse hands. My $16 bet is going to get called in both spots, probably because it's so small they can't fold on this flop. The turn comes at 8 of clubs, which isn't a diamond, so I like that. $96 out there, and I go around 70% of the pot for $70. The big blind rips it all in for $170, which is definitely a strange move here. Even more strange is when Tim cold calls his all in for $170. The action's back onto me. We have a strong hand, and having a queen in our hand blocked the players from having maybe ace queen. I don't expect the players to have like queen 8, queen 6, queen 4, so it's probably a set, a straight, or ace queen from the big blind or Tim. Either way though, I think we're in pretty rough shape. I don't expect Tim to be calling here with just a flush draw, and we do block some of those having the king of diamonds in our holding. So I make a pretty exploitative fold here for just $100 more. I let go of my top pair, hoping to not get embarrassed. Let's see what happens here on the run out. The run out comes at 10 of diamonds. Tim turns over 5-7 for the turn straight. Great fold by us. The big blind shows queen 9. Not exactly sure what he was doing there, but happy I made the right fold in that situation. Next hand I note, I look down at pocket kings, the cowboys, and I raise it up to $15 from the hijack. 5 players put in the calls, going 6 ways to the flop, which is pretty connected. It comes 7-6-5 rainbow. When the action checks to me, I go for a bet here for $35. Once again, I think I went too small. I need to be betting around $50 to price out some players on any draws. My player on my left now raises it up to $105, and once again we get a cold call from the small blind. Unlike the last hand though, I think my hand is just too strong to fold to one raise, so I put in the additional $70 and we're off to the turn. When the turn comes a queen of hearts, shouldn't really change too much. The action checks over to the cutoff, who now rips it all in for $175. When the small blind calls as well, alarm bells are going off in my head. Sure, I do have an overpair, but we could be behind any combination of 7-5, 6-7, and even if we make a correct call here and we're ahead, the opponent could have a hand like 7-8 and river us, so I just decided that since there's 2 players that are showing aptitude to liking this hand, I'm going to let go of my overpair here and make another exploitative fold. Back-to-back folds here. What do you guys think about that? The river comes the deuce of clubs. Really doesn't change anything. Please, someone show me a good hand. Sure enough, the cutoff turns over 6-7 offsuit. He flopped 2 pair. Great fold again from me, and the small blind mucks his cards. Making good folds is just like printing money. We made 2 great folds. We're still up $1,300 on the session. The unofficial meetup game is getting even bigger. Pat from another table comes over and says hi. He says he was just showing his wife in the hotel room my last video and my road trip totals, letting her know that he could be a professional poker player too if he really tried. We take a quick picture. I shake his hand, and we're back to the fella belt. I have $27.50 in my stack, and I look down at pocket fives. Once again, my phone cuts out here, so we're going to catch up on the action in real time. I'm on the button, and Tim raises it up to $15. The hijack puts in the call, and I put in the call as well, looking to set mine. Flop comes king, king, 3, rainbow, and there's $50 in the pot. Tim leads out for $20, and the hijack gets out of the way. The action's on me. Now I know what you're thinking. I'm behind all better pocket pairs. There's 2 kings on board, so any king, queen, king, jack, ace, king all have me beat. But if for some reason a 5 comes on the turn and he does have a king, he is pretty deep. He has $1,000 behind, so we can win a huge pot. I put in the call, which is probably lighting money on fire, until the turn comes a 5 of clubs. Bang! We turn the boat. Dream situation for us. I'm hoping and praying he has a king in his hand. We're going to win a huge pot. He could never put us on pocket fives. Sure enough, Tim keeps it up and bets out for $45 into the $90 pot. And there's no way I get his entire stack without putting in a raise here. I can't be calling fives on the flop only to turn the boat and not put in the raise, so that's what I do. I bump it up to $165, bringing the 8 of diamonds in on the river. Tim goes for the check, and if he has a king in his hand, I want to get his entire stack. Additionally, if he has pocket threes, which is another random hand he could have, I want to get that as well. So I go for maximum value and rip it in for $800 effective into the $400 pot. If you guys pause this video and think back, the last video at the Beau Rivage, I faced a double pot overbet and I made the correct call. Let's see what Tim does here against the double pot overbet here. 800 into 400. He puts in the call. I turn over my pocket fives, expecting to be good here, and sure enough, I am. He unfortunately turns over pocket aces. He watches the video. Sorry about that, Tim. Sorry you couldn't get away from pocket aces there, but we're going to take down that $2,000 pot when we turn the boat up $2,300 on the session. Before I play the last hand of the night with the jiggities, pause this video, drop a like, comment down below your favorite casino, and maybe I'll make it out there here in 2022. Let's get into this next hand. I look down at the jiggities from middle position and I raise it up to $20. Only the big blind puts in the calls, going heads up to the flop, which comes 10, 10, 9, rainbow. Not a great board because any 10 will have us beat, but when the opponent checks it over to me, I can't check behind. I still need to get value from any king, queen, king, jack, those type of hands, so I bet out for $15. The opponent puts in the call, which brings us 6 of spades on the turn. He checks it over to me for a second time, and I'm going to go for a second street of value. Some draws out there like 8 jack, jack queen, things of that nature, so I bet out for $65, almost a pot size bet. My logic for going so big is I want to get value from those draws, and if he calls us on the turn, he probably has a strong hand like a 10, so I'll check behind on the river or fold to a large bet. When he does put in the call, alarm bells are going off in my head, and the river comes a 9 of hearts, pairing the board. The big blind rips it all in for $350. Pretty strange line, but it's a pretty trivial fold here. Now we're going to be good here with my pocket jack, so I mech my cards, and the opponent turns over a funny hand, 10-9, so we flop the boat. He gets rewarded with that $201 pot, but look at our chip stack to end the night. We rack up our chips and head to the cage and get some cold hard cash. Alright you guys, that wraps up day 2 here at the Biloxi. Absolute insane session here. We ran it into Claiborne, Pat, Ryan, a few other people that I can't remember their names, but shout out to you if you came up to me at the Biloxi, and shout out to all the cool people at the Biloxi as well that run the room. Got into that game for $1,500, out for $33.71, profit of $18.71. Back-to-back huge nights here at the Biloxi. Here's the profit loss sheet. It's going to cover up Marcelo here, but that's all right. As you can see, they're already setting up for Christmas. Super cool vibes here. As always, good luck on the felt. Subscribe, like this video, share this with a friend. Go subscribe to Marcelo. I'll put the link down below. As always, good luck on the felt. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace! Thanks for watching to the end of my video. Click my head below to subscribe and stay in the loop. See you next time.